The crash of a beer mug against the counter cut through the laughter, and then the sound of fabric tearing followed like a gunshot. Every eye in the smoky bar snapped toward the center, where a broad, shouldered biker with tattooed arms had clutched the collar of the waitress's shirt and ripped it open in one violent motion. Gasps echoed around the room, beer bottles froze halfway to lips, and chairs creaked as men leaned forward to see what had just been revealed. The woman staggered back, her chest exposed, but what the biker saw there made his hand falter, and in that split second, the raucous bar seemed to fall into an unnatural silence. Before we dive in, comment which country you're watching from. The waitress's name was Lena. She wasn't just another woman cleaning tables for tips. She was someone who had fought every day of her life to survive in a town run by men like the one who now towered over her. She had kept her head down, worked double shifts, and swallowed her pride because she couldn't afford to lose her job. Tonight was supposed to be just another evening. Rowdy voices, jukebox music rattling the walls, and spilled beer slicking her shoes as she carried heavy trays from table to table. But she had sensed him the moment he walked in. The biker, his presence was like thunder pressing against her chest. He was called Rex, and everyone in that bar knew not to cross him. With a leather vest laced at the sides and scars crawling over his arms like twisted vines, Rex was the kind of man whose reputation arrived before he did. He had broken noses for sport, cracked pool cues across backs, and claimed the corner seat as his throne. Lena had avoided him for weeks, skirting past his table with the grace of someone who knew how close danger always sat. But tonight he called her over, and when she hesitated, that smirk curled across his face. The kind of smirk that promised cruelty. The jukebox clattered into silence mid-song as if the machine itself sensed what was coming. Rex slammed his glass down, amber liquid spilling over the wood, and growled, "You think you're too good to serve me." His words rolled across the bar, daring anyone to challenge him. No one did. Lena's hand shook as she set a bottle in front of him, but instead of reaching for it, his fist shot forward, gripping her shirt. The fabric strained, then it ripped. Gasps rose like a storm. Her white blouse fell open to reveal a bold tattoo etched into her chest. Black ink swirled into the shape of an eagle clutching a trident and anchor, a military insignia unmistakable and sharp against her skin. Rex's eyes widened. The hand that had torn her clothing hesitated. For the first time that night, his voice caught in his throat, and the weight of the room pressed in on everyone watching. The silence dragged, thick and heavy, until it felt like the walls themselves were holding their breath. Rex's grip loosened, and his brow furrowed as his eyes fixed on the tattoo carved into Lena's skin. It wasn't a design chosen for beauty or fashion. It was a symbol of service, of battlefields far from this dimly lit bar. The eagle, globe, and anchor of the Marines gleamed in the light, a permanent mark of someone who had stood where men like Rex would never dare to tread. The biker's lips curled, but not into a smirk this time. Something else flickered there, something that looked dangerously close to fear. The others noticed it too. The gang members who usually laughed at Rex's cruelty suddenly shifted in their boots, their bravado cracking. A couple of them exchanged glances, unsure whether to keep sneering or stay silent. In the far corner, an older man with a gray beard leaned forward, narrowing his eyes as if recognizing the tattoo's meaning before anyone else dared to say it. A whisper floated through the crowd. "She served." It was enough to stir a ripple of unease through the entire room. Lena's chest rose and fell, her breaths ragged but her gaze steady, locked on Rex like steel. For weeks, she had been the quiet waitress, the easy target. Tonight, she wasn't hiding anymore. Her mind raced with memories she had buried, of sandstorms, gunfire, the deafening roar of helicopters. But none of that compared to the fear she saw in Rex's eyes now. That fear gave her strength. She squared her shoulders, refusing to cover herself, and spoke in a voice that carried across the bar. "Touch me again, and you'll find out what it means to face someone who's already survived hell." Rex blinked, caught off guard by her defiance. The words sliced through his arrogance like a blade. He squeezed her collar again, but the room had shifted against him. Behind Lena, one of the bikers muttered, "She's not bluffing, Rex." Another's laughter died in his throat. The tension snapped tighter, every man and woman caught between loyalty to Rex and the chilling realization that they might be picking a fight they couldn't win. The bearded man at the edge finally stepped forward. His voice was calm but steady, every syllable echoing through the silence. "That mark on her skin, that means she gave more than you ever could. You think you're tough, Rex. You've never seen tough." The weight of his words was undeniable, and suddenly the swaggering biker looked smaller than he ever had before. But pride was a venom that ran thick in Rex's blood. His face flushed red, veins bulging at his temples, and he shoved Lena back against the counter. "She's nothing but a waitress," he spat, his voice cracking with fury. Bottles rattled on the shelves as her back hit the wood. The bar flinched, but no one moved. The tension coiled tighter, as if the air itself was ready to snap. Rex leaned closer, his voice a growl meant for her ears alone. "Tattoo or not, you'll regret standing up to me." The words barely left his mouth before Lena's hand moved, fast and precise. Her palm slammed against Rex's chest with a force that belied her size, and in the same motion her knee shot up, catching him square in the ribs. The biker staggered back, clutching his side, shock etched across his face as if he had been struck by lightning. Lena didn't stop. Her body moved with practiced efficiency, honed from years of drills and instincts forged in war. She stepped forward, her fists tight, and the room erupted into chaos. Chairs scraped, bottles tipped. Some of Rex's crew lunged to intervene, but the older bearded man blocked them, his broad shoulders standing like a wall between Lena and the gang. "You want to help him," he barked, "then you'll go through me." For the first time, the younger bikers hesitated. Loyalty warred with self-preservation, and one by one, they backed away. Rex groaned on the floor, trying to pull himself up, but every time he moved, Lena was there, unyielding, unafraid. Her voice cut through the noise, sharp and commanding. "I served my country. I faced men with weapons aimed at me, and I walked away. You hide behind fear and numbers. Well, look at you now, alone." The power in her words froze the room again, leaving Rex gasping on his knees, the fight draining from his eyes. For the first time in years, the self-proclaimed king of the bar looked like a man stripped of his crown. Slowly, Lena straightened her torn shirt, not bothering to hide the tattoo anymore. She turned toward the others, her gaze sweeping over the room. No one met her eyes. Respect, laced with shame, filled the silence where jeers once lived. The bearded man finally broke it with a nod, his voice low. "She's earned more in her silence than you ever did in your shouting." His words left Rex trembling, unable to rise. The lesson lingered heavy in the smoky air. Power doesn't come from intimidation, but from the battles fought and survived with integrity. Lena had hidden her strength to blend in, to keep her peace, but when tested, it blazed through every corner of that bar, leaving no doubt who truly held control. She walked toward the door, shoulders squared, every step echoing louder than Rex's threats had ever sounded. No one stopped her, no one dared. The crowd parted like water, eyes lowered, shame biting deep into the men who had cheered Rex's cruelty only moments ago. As she left, the jukebox flickered back on, but its music sounded hollow against the silence she left behind. Sometimes courage doesn't roar. Sometimes it simply stands tall, unbroken, and shows the world that true strength can't be stripped away. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. And tell me in the comments, if you were standing in that bar, what would you have done?